Hello, and thank you for joining us on another episode of Potpourri. My name is Chevany Reed, and I'm your host. Today's guest is Tracy Neely, nutritionist, holistic nutritionist. Tracy, please tell us what brought you here. It's so nice to have you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. I love what I do. What brought me here was to really talk about my story of how I got into nutrition and beauty and skincare, and it all stemmed from actually finding out that I had a tumor in my jaw, which, you know, when I think about it now, it doesn't sadden me, but then it was very traumatic because I was a young woman living in New York City, single, ready to mingle, finding out that I had this major tumor, had to have my teeth removed and the nerves in my jaw. But what that did was really make me think about like health, and I wanted to nurture my body with foods that really gave me energy and gave me vibrancy. And that's how I started thinking about food and nutrition. And I went back to school and studied nutrition and became an esthetician. And so now I just talk about eating for beauty.
So Tracy, when people see you, they're like, no way did she go through anything, because you're so beautiful and your skin is awesome.
Thank you.
Tell us, what happened when you first found out about the tumor?
So I was in Chattanooga and I went to get my teeth cleaned, and the doctor said, let's just do an x-ray. And I said, okay. And he said, there's a spot on your x-ray. And I said, okay, I'm going back to New York. He says, okay, you have to go see this doctor. I waited probably 3 weeks, went to see a doctor, and he said, we have to put you in the hospital tonight. You're gonna have surgery tomorrow. And I'm like, hold up, I haven't been in the hospital since I was probably born. What's going on? He says, you have a very rare tumor that's growing, and if we don't remove it, it's gonna spread to your brain. It's gonna be inoperable.
So what's the name of this?
It's called ameloblastoma.
Ameloblastoma.
So you don't see it a lot. It's rare. You see it in books. So they kind of took my x-rays and kind of showed them to the world, because you don't see many people that have this, because it really disfigures your face. So they went in and took nerves from my cheek, and then removed my jawbone, and then took marrow from my hip, placed it in my jawbone. So it was a year of relearning how to drink and how to eat. So it was really important to me that, and it was excruciating, the pain. So if I was going to eat something, it really had to matter, and it had to taste good and have nutrients. But the beauty of the story is that kind of showed me that I wanted to go into nutrition and beauty, because I really wanted to talk to women about loving what you see when you look in the mirror. Because for so long I didn't. You know, I thought, oh, I don't really care about beauty. It's not that important. But I did. But there was so much pain behind what I was feeling because I looked so different. But I just think that all things work for good. And that really showed me that this is what I want to do. I want to work with women. I want to teach them how to eat.
So Tracy, I hear that you're studying to be a naturopathic doctor. Is that correct?
Yes.
What is that?
So a naturopathic doctor basically is alternative doctoring. It's like holistic medicine. So you're working on getting to the root cause, whereas allopathic medicine talks a lot about your symptoms and treating your symptoms. I really want to focus on getting to the root of why you're feeling what you're feeling.
So does that have anything to do with preventive care? Or?
It is really about preventive care. So for instance, let's say that you come to me and you say, well, you know, I have this breakout on my skin. Well, maybe an allopathic doctor may say, well, I want to send you to a dermatologist. Maybe we need to get you on some medication, whereas I'm going to say, well, we maybe need to filter your liver and look at what's going on the inside and do a cleanse, which is going to help what you look like on the outside.
Now, you mentioned cleanse.
Yeah.
I know from reading all about you that you are serious about cleansing and the importance of cleansing. Now, we hear so much about cleansing, whether it's spiritual cleansing or cleansing by food.
Yes.
What is a good cleanse versus a bad cleanse? Because some things you're like, that can't be a cleanse. Those foods just aren't good for you anyway, or starvation is just not good for you. So talk to us about good cleanses.
Because it's never about starvation and deprivation, because it only lasts for so long. So basically a cleanse is where you're removing toxins from the body, and it's not like a detox in a box where you go get this box, you take these powders, and tomorrow you wake up and everything's good. What we want to do is we want to actually use whole foods because it's what the body recognizes, but we want to use foods that actually cleanse your body, like dandelion, which cleanses your liver, lemon water, which is really good at removing the mucus, and mucus comes when your body is acidic. So acidity comes from processed foods, junk foods, sweets, cakes, cookies, candy.
You mentioned all those great things. I mean, but I know that when I talk about good foods,
Yeah.
those are not listed as a good food. Matter of fact, those are your stay away from foods.
Well, here in life, it's about balance. So I live an 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, you're on track, you're eating right for your body, because everything is customized. Like one diet doesn't fit everyone. And I think that's the problem with, we go from this diet to the next, whereas I really want to focus on foods that are actually going to help to heal your body, remove the toxins, so you're able to either lose the weight, reduce your stress, improve the texture of your skin, thicken your hairs, have brighter eyes, have more energy, because it really is about having more energy, having less stress.
So what are some contributing factors for stress? I mean, is stress just how we handle certain problems, or is stress like a real issue?
Well, we all have stress, right? But it's how you handle it. So for instance, when I was just starting my business and I had a little boy, I was under a lot of stress because I wasn't sleeping as much, I was working long hours, and I was internalizing a lot of that stress. Whereas if you have stress but you're working on it, you're exercising, you're doing some deep breathing, you're meditating, you're doing yoga, you're finding ways to release the tension. So for me, because I was trying to do it all and I was nurturing my clients, but I wasn't nurturing myself, it affected my hair. So it burnt out my adrenals, it affected my thyroid, my hair fell out, I gained 40 pounds of weight. And then I realized I wasn't using self-care on myself, so I got back to the things that I loved, like running and yoga and exercise. So it's how we deal with the stress. To say like we're not going to have stress, I mean, stress is everything. It's our families, it's our jobs, it's sort of a way of life, but it's how we deal with it and minimize the stress.
So you mentioned thyroid.
Yes.
And I know that thyroid is a big issue for you, not
Yeah.
just because you had it, but all the destruction it does to our body.
Yes.
And we hear that thyroid, oh, you can get a thyroid issue, but stress is a factor for thyroid. Can you talk to us
Huge.
about your experience with your thyroid issue?
Right. Well, I didn't even know it was my thyroid. How it happened for me was I went to a hair salon and my hairstylist said, I want you to see this picture of you. And I said, okay. And she took a picture of the back of my head and all my hair was out, and I didn't realize that. And she said, you obviously are under a lot of stress. So I had a lot of stress. I had a little bit of depression. I gained all this weight. And as a nutritionist, I wasn't feeling good about my body, because how do you say, hi, I'm a nutritionist and I had put on all this weight. So thyroid can affect you in many different ways, but the key is you have to get it checked out. And most people, they'll hear, oh, my thyroid's fine. But if you know that you are experiencing symptoms, then speak with your endocrinologist or your primary care physician and get a whole thyroid panel checked out. Because I healed mine. Now, I can't say that everyone's going to do that the way I did it, but I healed it all naturally with food, with acupuncture, with yoga, with herbs that really nourish your thyroid. And I just made it my mission that I was going to heal my thyroid because I knew that I would be able to help other women.
And now with the thyroids, we hear overactive, underactive.
Yes. So underactive means you're not producing enough. That's hypothyroid. And overactive is hyperthyroid. And then there's autoimmune issues with your thyroid. And you really wouldn't know you had that unless you got it checked out in terms of a clinical doctor. Mm-hmm. But I had all the symptoms of hypothyroid when I was told that it was fine. And I'm like, it's not fine.
And they want to put you, when doctors say, okay, something wrong with your thyroid. Right. The medicine, it's like the uncertainty, because they're testing out medicine on you and trying to find the right balance.
Yes.
And I often hear women, they're frustrated because
Right.
nothing seems to work. They still
Well, they're
have the weight.
frustrated because they still feel like they have symptoms, And there's nothing wrong with if your doctor wants to put you on thyroid medication. Just for me, that's not what I wanted to do, but it has helped a lot of women. But for me, I thought, well, how am I going to ever know if my thyroid is balanced if I'm taking a medication? So I chose not to, and I just did it a different way, but I don't want it to seem like I'm not, for women, if that's what, if that's what they feel they have to do.
But a lot of us do want to know what's the alternative
Yes.
to doing it this way.
Right.
When it's not working for us.
Right.
So, okay, I need to know where we're going to start with just making our body a better place, I guess. So I know you talk about being beautiful inside.
Right.
So when we come back, Tracy, I want you to tell us what you brought here and talk to us about all these great vegetables and fruits and how we can live beautifully inside out.
Thank you.
Okay, because you're gorgeous. I know people don't believe what you've been through. Tracy, thank you so much for sharing your story. I know you're going to do a demonstration when we return.
Yes.
So when we return to Potpourri, Tracy will demonstrate how to live beautifully nourished from the inside out.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit, we're hot, we can't be stopped. We got much too much. We got the spirit, we're hot, we can't be stopped. We got the spirit, we're hot, we can't be stopped. We're gonna beat them and bust them.
The smallest
spirit, we're hot, we can't be stopped. We're gonna beat them and bust them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little.
Son, tell him that I've begun to dream of things to come, and tell the trees not to look for me, of the trees not to look for me. I'm going to find some peace of mind. Sun, wake the sun, wake the sun.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit, we're hot, we can't be stopped. We got much too much. We got the spirit, we're hot, we can't be stopped. We got the spirit, we're hot, we can't be stopped. We're gonna beat them and bust them.
The smallest
spirit, we're hot, we can't be stopped. We're gonna beat them and bust them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little.
Welcome back to Potpourri. I'm Chevy Reed, your host, and Tracy Neely is joining us. Tracy, we talk so much about cleansing. Tell me, what does a person need to do to cleanse properly and to get their body beautiful?
Great question. So what you first want to do is actually start drinking water, because water helps to hydrate you. It helps to cleanse your kidneys. So that's the first step.
So drinking water.
Yeah.
How much water do I need to drink? Is it a myth, the 8 glasses? Or because sometimes I drink water and I feel like literally I'm going to pop. So what is the standard?
Well, ideally, it would be great for you to just take your body weight and divide it in half, and that would be how many ounces. So for a 140-pound woman, she'd drink 70 ounces. Okay. Now, if you're drinking 1 glass of water a day, to go and try to drink 8, 9, 10 glasses might be a stretch, but if we can at least start you with 4 glasses and then work our way up, that would be great. So that's the first place to start.
So it's definitely a process. It's okay to say 2 glasses today, 3 tomorrow.
Well, within a week, you want to get up that number to half your body weight.
Okay.
Right. We're just not going to do it all in one day because you might not want to do it the second day.
Got you.
So after we're drinking some water, and let me just say that it's not tap, because tap contains chlorine, bromine, and fluoride, and those wreak havoc on your thyroid. So those are not good. They're not good for your body, but they're definitely not good for your thyroid.
Okay.
So next what we're going to do is you're just going to take something as simple as squeezing a fresh lemon, and you're going to make some lemon water. And you're going to drink this When you first wake up in the morning, make sure it's either room temperature or warm, because cold water actually stops the digestive juice process.
So don't make it and put it in the refrigerator and keep it there. It's fresh every day.
Right. If you want, you can squeeze it the night before you go to bed, then put it on a counter, and when you get up in the morning, drink it, because it removes the acidity, the mucus that forms in your body from eating processed foods. It also nourishes and filters your liver, which is very key. So that's how we would probably start, because lemons have vitamin C, and even though it's an acid fruit, the way it chemically breaks down in your body, it becomes more alkaline. And that's really what you want. You want to be more alkaline than you are acidic, because a diseased body loves acidity.
Into my small thought process, it's like, who wants to be alkaline? But we do.
Right, you do.
Because
You
we
want to
think
have
of it
a
as like a
balance.
battery or something.
Right, you want to have a balance of your acid to alkalinity, and you become more alkaline by eating more green leafy vegetables, and we'll talk about that when we do the green smoothie demo. But just something as simple as this is a great place to start.
Now, is this something that we need to incorporate in our daily
Yes.
routine? It's not
Every
something
day.
that we just say, okay, we're doing a cleanse.
Right. No, it's like the first process, so it's sort of like a mini cleanse, but it's something that's going to nourish your liver. And your liver is what filters everything out you're eating. So if you're eating processed foods, that's just putting a lot more toxic energy on your liver.
And we don't hear about that. We hear about cleansing your colon, and we don't really hear about taking care of your liver. All I ever heard about liver is, oh, it rebuilds itself. But I guess if you destroy it, it doesn't.
Well, it's sort of like, just imagine you have a filter system and all of these things are coming in, and the hole for the filter is so small, it can't process fast enough. That's sort of like what the liver is doing. So this is just super simple, and you can find these at any supermarket, and all you're doing is just cutting half of a lemon and squeezing it in a glass of water, and you're just drinking that. So if you start there, that's a great way to start.
Okay.
Right. And then from there, then you can go more into like a really, kind of major cleanse, meaning you're removing foods from your diet that are actually causing weight gain, acne, depression, headaches, low energy.
Because we hear, okay, so we have to eat for energy. But if we're eating the wrong things, we're defeating gaining energy, we're defeating feeling good.
Right, and you're definitely,
Or feeling
it has
well.
an effect on your skin. A lot of times, as an esthetician, women will say to me, what is the product that I can use? And I'm like, well, let's start on the inside, because beauty radiates from the inside out. So let's filter our liver. Let's remove the toxins from our body. So that means white foods, flours, breads, cakes, cookies, white rice, white pasta. Those things contribute to inflammation, and inflammation creates the acidity, and the acidity creates disease, and disease creates poor health.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so all those things.
And we want to keep it simple. That's what I always tell my clients. If you start small, it'll be something that you'll do
Because it is
daily.
overwhelming.
Yeah, it can be
Yes.
overwhelming to improve your health, but if you just start small, then you feel like you really achieved your goal, which gives you so much more courage to continue.
Okay, so we're drinking our lemon water.
Yes.
First we're drinking water.
We're drinking water, and
Some
hopefully
non-tap water.
Right, non-tap water. So hopefully we have some kind of a filtering system, which can filter out some of the toxins. And it's super important, especially for kids, to drink more water versus juices and sodas, and but it's a process.
Okay, so we're drinking water, and that water, if we drink the lemon water, it doesn't count towards our water, or does it?
It can count. Lemon water will count towards your water. But ideally, I'd love to see you just drinking some pure water, but I want to add this to it. So yeah, this can also count for your water.
Okay, so
Yes.
I'm feeling good. I'm drinking lemon water.
Yeah.
I got the water going through my system, half of my 99-pound body. So then what do we do?
So after this, then we really want to look at the types of foods you're eating, right? And we know that when you're removing toxins, we want to cut down on meat, animal products, because they cause a lot of acidity in the body. And then you have to be concerned about where the meat is coming from. Is it grass-fed, or is it coming from a factory farm? Because not only are you concerned about what you eat, you have to be concerned about what that animal ate, because you're taking in whatever they ate, and a lot of times it's genetically modified corn, it's a lot of grain, and we know grains put a lot of weight on us, especially like wheat, because we're a society where we're eating a lot of grains, we're eating a lot of cakes and cookies and breads. So the Dirty Dozen are 12 fruits and vegetables that are sprayed with pesticides to keep the bugs away. Some are sprayed more than others, an apple being one of them.
Okay.
So when this gentleman said, I eat a lot of apples, I said, well, maybe what you want to do is make that the thing in your house that you buy organically. That way you're not spending a lot of money trying to make everything in your house 100% organic, and you're taking baby steps.
Okay,
Yes.
so
Because whatever was sprayed on that, you're ingesting that, and that's getting down into your cells and the tissue.
so much to think about.
Yes.
Okay, so we talked about what to take, what to be careful of, not take out of your diet, but to be, I guess, cognizant of.
Right, well, we want to actually start to minimize and cut down on things that will create the acidity. So when you're doing a cleanse, what I typically tell clients are that we're going to focus on fruits and vegetables. So we're going to eat a lot more greens. We're going to eat like all the colors of the rainbow.
Okay, I could do that.
Right, because we know that there are a lot of nutrients, like when you think about, like this is chard, and chard is a leafy green, and believe it or not, leafy greens have protein. They have vegetable protein, which the body can absorb and assimilate much better than animal protein, because when you eat, you have to break it down, has to sit in your digestive system. It takes a while for that to happen. So
Okay.
this is what I consider like one of my beauty foods. It's probably like my #1 beauty food.
Okay, well, I'm getting some chard. That's
And
it.
there are all types of leafy greens. We're going to be using some kale to do the smoothie, and there's chard and there's spinach. And the great thing is that you can find spinach at any supermarket in any neighborhood, which is great.
And we want to do fresh
You want to do
vegetables.
fresh, and you want to make sure that it's organic, your spinach, because it will have a lot of pesticides, as well as like kale. But I always say start off with spinach because it's the mildest green, whereas like dandelion is fantastic. It's a green, you probably see it in your yard.
I was wondering if it was the same dandelion.
It is, but unless your yard is not sprayed, you don't want to pick it. But dandelion is #1 food for your liver,
Okay,
right? To nourish it.
got it. So we're going to make a smoothie.
We're going to make a smoothie, yes.
And I want to
Can I
help.
You can help?
Yes, I
Good.
can help.
Thank you.
I'm excited
Love that.
because I want to be able to do this again when we come home. So come on over here.
And this is so easy. This is great for families. If you're trying to get your children to eat more fruits and vegetables, this is a great way to do it because you can get like 4 to 5 servings of your fruits and vegetables in one glass.
Awesome.
So we started with some water, and this is just filtered water. And I'd love for you to help me if you want to put in, we're just putting in 1 lemon. And lemon is like a kind of key when you're doing smoothies because it cuts down on the green or the grassiness of the taste of the kale. So we'll put that in.
Just drop that in?
Yeah.
Got it.
And then we'll put in, I have 1 apple, which is great. It has malic acid, which is great for the body. It has fiber because you want things to go in, but you want them to come out, which is really, really key. And then what I really love now about kale is that you can find it at any supermarket. They already have it cut up for you. So this is super easy for you to do in the morning if you want to start, if you want to put some of this in as well.
Okay. So a handful?
We're going to do more than that. We're just going to put it all in.
So kale is like spinach.
Kale is like spinach. It's sort of like the thing when I was little. It was like the little kind of decoration on the table with the oranges.
Okay.
So you can close that up for me. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put in a banana, and the banana will give it the creaminess. I know a lot of people like to use yogurt. I'm not a huge dairy person because I feel like it creates a lot of acidity and mucus in the body. And so when women are saying to me, well, I want glowing, beautiful skin, how do I do that? I say to them, you've got to cut down on the dairy. And so we use a banana for the creaminess. And another one of the beauty foods that I really love is avocado. You can put an avocado in your smoothie, which is going to be fantastic for your skin and your hair. So now what we're going to do is we're going to just put the top on. We're going to put the plunger in.
I need one of these in my life.
Yeah, this is a Vitamix. This is more considered like a commercial blender, but what I always tell people, whatever you have, use the blender you have. Maybe you'll have to add more liquid, have to blend it a little bit longer, but if you want to turn on that button over there.
I've been waiting to turn this on all day.
And that's it. Now, how simple, how many minutes do you think that took?
Wow, I think I could actually do this. It depends, though, on how it tastes, Tracy.
Well, here's the thing. I think that it has an amazing taste, especially because it has all these greens in it. But when you put the banana in, the banana gives it some sweetness and the creaminess, and then the lemon cuts down on the green taste. So I will just have you taste it. And I'll pour one for myself, and then we can do a little.
We could toast.
We can toast. Toast.
Well, it
to,
smells delicious.
And does it smell fresh?
Yes. You smell
Right?
the banana, you don't smell the...
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you.
Actually, it's really delicious.
Right?
You taste a little lemon.
It's super simple. And just
Banana.
think you have probably 4 to 5 servings of your fruits and vegetables. So
In this?
In this.
Wow.
So for anyone who's like, what's the secret to losing weight? There really is no secret. So if you just did one thing besides drinking water and adding lemon water, and you just add green smoothies to your diet, and you didn't change anything else, you would see a big difference in a month. Just in the way that your body feels, your energy level, your skin, your hair, your cravings would start to diminish. You wouldn't crave every single sugar out there, and you'd be adding so many nutrients.
I guarantee you that I'm going to add kale, because this is not bad at all. It's actually really good.
And there's super simple ingredients. So it's 1 lemon, 1 apple, kale, 1 banana, and water as the base. So this is pretty simple. You know, if someone wants it sweeter, you really don't need it sweet if you're using the banana. But let's say that you have blood sugar issues, or you're diabetic and you don't want to use the banana, then what you could use is stevia, which comes from a plant. It's 1,000 times sweeter than sugar. If you just use
And
one
it's any
teaspoon.
type of stevia, right?
Any type of stevia. I prefer, you know, I'm not here to talk about any particular company, but this particular company, New Naturals, they take the bitterness out of stevia, because if you don't add enough, it's not sweet enough. If you add too much, it's super bitter. So I like to use this with my clients who are trying to watch their blood sugar issues, but this is super simple, and this is great for kids. If you get them involved in the kitchen, they're more inclined to eat.
Right, because I could give this to a child and they wouldn't say, oh.
And you can make popsicles out of this.
Awesome.
So how cool is that, right?
Pretty awesome, pretty awesome. Thank you, Tracy, for joining us and teaching us how to live beautiful from the inside out.
Thank you.
Your story is beautiful and
Thank you.
inspiring, and I know you've touched a lot of our audience.
Thank you.
And before we leave, can you please just tell our guests where we can find you?
So you can go to tracyneely.com. That's TracyNeely.com. And I'd love to be able to share with your audience my Transformational You Jumpstart Weekend Cleanse.
Thank you for joining us at another episode of Potpourri. I'm Chevany Reed, your host, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.